This is your weekend market review for Friday, March 17th, 2023. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your weekend market review for Friday, March 17th, 2023. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Hope you're having a great day, great week, very interesting week. Got a lot to talk about. Grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's dig into the charts because it's going to be a lot to talk about. Try to do it as quick as possible. If you're new to the channel, want to subscribe, please hit the notification bell. Want to join the Discord room, link is in the description below. One of the things we're looking at this afternoon, $4 billion of NVIDIA sold on the dark pool data after the close. Interessante. Twitter. If you're following on Twitter, we're posting what we're up to, what we're thinking, some of the information that we're following. Well worth subscribing. Hit the notification bell as well. YouTube. Back to Basics series. OPEX. Hopefully people watch this at least a dozen times this week. And it's starting to come together. It's starting to make sense, right? OPEX. Wow. One of the most, I don't know, I might say one of the best OPEXs. Only 100 views. Interesting. Best meaning just volatility that I've seen in a while. Up and down. Because usually sometimes you get up and down, but didn't really start the week up and then start the week down or vice versa. But it was just up and down all over the place. So if you're curious, check out the link to the website as well. If you want to see the order from what I would think from beginning to more advanced levels, that's the way to do it. And let's not hesitate. Let's get into it. Bitcoin up at the highs. A lot of people you're like, oh, what's going on here? I'm like, man, this is a megaphone pattern. If you break out of it, this could go even higher. Oil not acting well. We are now into the support zone, support zone. Watch the mid-60s. Do we break it? That's the question now. Again, the economy is weakening, right? You would think oil goes down. Well, it looks like the economy is weakening and oil is going down. Nat gas. Man, this one is such a pill for people. They just have to get into it because they think it's so cheap, but it's just not acting right as we've talked in the past. It looks like it's going to be in the chop cycle. Now, that's not what people want to hear. People want to hear, oh, I want a direction. No. There is not one direction here. It looks like it could be head and shoulders bottom if you consider this left shoulder, right shoulder, head. Just a professional gap to start the move. We shall see. The dollar in a big chop range. I personally like looking at the weekly, monthly. It's really hard to tell. At this point, I would say just let it play out. I think I could see the dollar going either way because I think some of the other economies, other central banks, are going to be put in a position to act as well, and it's just going to be hard to know what is best. Sorry, I don't have an obvious answer, but that's the same thing like the TLT. Higher rates, lower rates. It's printing more dollars. Going to get people to sell bonds? Do they want to own bonds? Is more inflation coming? That's volatility, right? Volatility in the bond market. It's moving all over the place. Kind of looks like the stock market, right? You could call that distribution at the highs, or is this an accumulation, a breakout? Either way, I'd be watching the high end of the range, and I'd watch the 50-day. Clear as mud, right? No, it's very clear. Just 109. I know it's a big range. 104. Whatever happens after that, we'll see. The VIX, man, they tried to kill the VIX this week. And we talked about, look at the volatility everywhere. It felt like the end of the world, right? We were finally going to get the final blow off in the market, the final just knock everyone out. Because I always tell people, I'm like, do you not understand? The market doesn't bottom when everyone's bullish. This whole thesis of hey, this is easy. The market's going to do things. Sorry, it's just not like that. And we talk about I say this. I don't know why I'm saying but it's yeah. You're not going to see a bear market bottom with the VIX in the 38 level. We probably are going to get super crazy at some point because it seems that the banks, the issues going on globally, it's not going to resolve very peacefully. SPY talked about this in the Discord room. Wouldn't be surprised if it closed at 390. 390.14. Pretty dang good. You got a bottom. You got some volume, but is this the next puke That's what would have me curious, right? Is this the next puke action? I don't know. I mean, I do know in my mind. I think it's going much lower. Again, we talked about this being a novice gap trap. Lower highs, lower lows. But just remember, I say this all the time. In trends, people just forget. They just forget that the downtrend wasn't just always down. Right? Oh yeah. And this is how we knew like we weren't at the bottom, because the bearishness hasn't erupted. I don't think a 29 VIX is the peak of this bottom dropout, whatever you want to call it, right? I mean, that was October. Here we are. So what now? I mean, we talked about this over and over and over. 20-day becomes resistance. Once the trend is in, it's either support or resistance. I think it's going to be resistance. QQQ acting a little better, but man, it is just pumpadillis. Pump a die. But no, I'm trying to think of what I'm. Pumpernickel maybe. Papadelli? Yeah. Obviously, the Qs have been lagging tremendously compared to other indexes that got up, much higher off of the October bounce. And they're getting people to buy tech. They think tech is going to do well. Personally think tech is going to be wrecked. If you don't know why, watch the Back to Basics video called Tech War. Who wins it? If you want the answer to the movie, or you want to hear how the plot ends in the movie, tech doesn't win. Do not be surprised if you're watching this video and you know me and you look at the QQQ. Big green, indecision, what could tomorrow bring? Meaning Monday. It begins with a left, ends with a right, and it's a combo with cheese. That's what I'd be looking for. I don't think we're going to continue on. This is the best they could do to keep the market up and kill all the puts. Remember, there's a ton of puts bought on the market this week, right? Murdered, all of them. So, oh Jesus. IWM, watch for it lagging. Qs are at the highs. IWM is at the low. Suspicious? Real suspicious. Remember, this was a quarterly OPEX as well. A lot of volumes going off this week. Watch. If we break the 170, I mean, at this point, looking at the weekly, monthly, I mean, you're definitely going back down to the 160s. I'm looking at the weekly, monthly. There's really not a ton of support until 127. Maybe you could call 145. I mean, 145, 127. That's what I would put as the support. That's my levels. I'm sticking to it here. If you want, I'll show you on the monthly. Please show us, Dan. Okay. Maybe I'll even do a little drawings for you. I'd probably watch this little area, right? 147, 143, whatever. And then 127's down here. Zinger, maybe the 200 month, which was the COVID lows. Keep that in mind. 200 month. But here's the problem. If this is a big, like, A to B, do the math there. That's 80 points. This is the retrace up here. 80 from 203. I mean, just say 120 approximately. Is it the 200-day, or do we have to? This is so hard, because in a bear market, as we said, the people are just going to be just giving up, capitulating. And then, it's going to get emotional. And you're going to see prices like this. You probably rally back, but it's going to be sloppy. The DIA, just keep an eye on all this stuff. I don't know. This looks like a rolling trend, right? Here comes lower lows at some point, right? That's what looks obvious to me. DIA, same thing. Holding at, when a move is done, we like to draw the fibs. I don't know why it's not better drawn, but the fibs seem to line up with important spots. Look at that. Watch the 315, 31.15. All right, let's get into it. Gold, because a lot of the haters, that's all they're talking about is like, you idiot, you said to not buy gold. You said to leave it alone. Well, that's me being honest. Yeah, but we talked about it was due to bounce. Remember, we closed out half of our dust. Remember, we were short the miners. Remember, we talked about this being ugly. All right, well, now it runs up. Big volume on Friday. Is that a breakout volume, or is it just a trap volume? This is the biggest concern I have. If you zoom out on the monthly, and this is why I'm just patient. It's a big cup and handle. I don't need to be jumping in until we really break out, or I just wait. I mean, there might be better trades. That's what I think is so hard for folks, and they just can't do it. They just can't do it. So now that you look at the daily, okay, be careful. Is this a novice gap with big volume? I don't know. Silver. And again, I apologize if you missed the trade or you're mad that you think I should be long it. I'm telling you, I have way better, I feel like way better trade location because I wasn't mid-trend. Picking tops in certain tech, solar, financials, whatever you want, whatever we were talking about. Just keep that in mind. Silver, again, is it back near the highs? I like to see silver lead. I don't like to see it lag. I want this pretty shiny silver stuff rocking and rolling. All right, we'll see what happens. It doesn't look terrible making new highs, but it's definitely not back at the highs in the 22s like your friend Mr. Gold. GDX, wow, big volume today. Professional gap continuation. Wow. I mean, let's just call it what it is. This 31 area is clearly importante. People are mad. I mean, I told you, I am riding dust. I've got dust calls. Remember, see, I bought dust at 10 and 11. So just people who, if you're asking later, we rode it up in the 16, sold half, stopped out the rest at 13 and a half. And then, you know what I said? All right, well, I don't really want to own shares because I think there's better ways to use my capital. I'll just buy 5 simple little puts and risk $750. Now, those puts have obviously gotten destroyed. Down 50% at least, maybe more than that. Down $350. Ooey gooey pooey, whatever. I mean, it's not the right trade, obviously, but I'm okay with it when I have April calls for the dust. Watch what happens here. Again, I mean, I could close it out, but I'm not going to chase. This is what people are like, we'll give the green light. You were wrong. No, I will not give the green light to chase because chasing is painful. At some point, we will pull back. Maybe it's just those 2 days. When we talked about making a higher high, okay. I'm going to be honest. This is what I would do. I don't chase. Don't chase because what happens? Nothing goes straight up, y'all. So congratulations if you are long it. I'm not going to hate on it. It's good for you guys. AG held the lows. I'm really, and again, this is why I don't like the miners. Is people don't realize that they get absolutely slammed in bear markets. Just they get smoked. They throw the baby out with the bathwater. Really like to see AG around 5. Do I get what I want all the time? No, obviously not. I am not God, omnipotent, or anything special other than your trading, guiding friend. We'll see what happens here because we talked about, is this a professional gap? All right. 50-day, clearly. AEM, let's try to move faster here. Nice little pop today. 50-day, same thing. Big volume, but remember, big volume on what? Quad witching OPEX doesn't necessarily, it can be a little tricky. That's all I'm going to say. A lot of position shuffling. Right? Newmont, nice little bounce to the 50, 200-day. Keep an eye on it. PAAS, nice run, 6-7% today. Gets back to the trend line. Sneaky, sneaky. Now you're going, what trend line is that? It's an old one. Remember, don't bring a ruler. Is it perfect? No. I mean, would I short this at that trend line? No. Again, I'm not really, shorting any individual miners. It's just easy with the dust. That's all I can say. AM Dizzle, wow, I thought 96, 97. Upgrades galore. Straight line move tops. Where have we seen this movie before? Where have we seen this movie before? I feel like this is now Fast and the Furious Part 8. Where does it fail? That's the hard part. That's the hard part. I'm not short AMD, but I watch it. Taiwan Semi, hitting the 50. Backside, it's already broke the trend. I mean, this is just not good. When, not if. That's all I can really say. What's the next levels? I mean, obviously, these levels are like the first easy support at 83, but I'd not be surprised if you come back and just fill this gap real quick. Look at the VAP zone, right? And you just get caught in the 78, 80 area. Keep an eye on it. NVIDIA, wow, again, how much money? It's funny. Let me see if I can pull it up on the 10-minute. Oh, there's all that volume going off. Ugh, look at that. Look at that dark pooling. Now, again, the candle isn't big. It tells you what? Tells you what? paired off. You're like, what? Paired off? Well, yeah, I mean, that's clearly somebody. Remember, someone has to buy and someone has to sell. I would be very remiss to say if I felt like if I was smart buying $4 billion worth of NVIDIA on a Friday at the highs, I would probably get fired. All right, we're up into the next level. The big black line, if you're like, what is that freaking thing? Yeah, that's an interesting area. We talked about this. It's where all the pain started. It was close to the resistance. Remember, no, you can't remember. I'm trying to like specifically, why is that black line there as well? That's a lot of blackness. I think the charts, didn't they split or something? Anyway, whatever. I apologize. Either way, honestly, it doesn't really matter though. The more important thing is to watch is what? Is to watch what? Is that a novice gap? Red candle, hammer time, goodbye. Remember, buddy pass by Morgan Stanley. That is not what you want to see at highs. Intel usually don't talk about it, but it hit the 200-day doji after a huge run, right? Huge for this piece of junk. SMH retesting the range highs, not over them. Some laggards, some leaders. I mean, do we go much higher? I don't know if you're buying stocks in the 18, 19, 20 level. I think you're going to get paid. Adobe popped on earnings. Holding. Watch this little box of fun here in the 200-day area, right? Keep an eye on it. Apple just really wants to break out. 156, we'll see. Big volume, red candle, we'll see. This area matters. Just keep an eye on it. I'm assuming it's going to fail, but could I be wrong? Could they trap it? Obviously. Amazon, just dead money. I don't even want to talk about. CRM, I know, I think Harry shorted this 187. Nice 2-day range. I like it. Guggenheim, trying to rally on Chat GPT 17,004 or whatever. 200-day, that's a straight line move. Going to the 200-day, that's going to probably back off. Meta, like a high, me ho. Show me Meta. We talked about this being a trap. This is, I mean, reverse this around, and it just goes slightly lower. Makes a new high, slightly higher high. Again, this whole Meta news, they're getting their lunch handed to them. I don't know. I mean, obviously being early or wrong is painful, but I zoom out and I go, you know what? It makes sense to kind of get up here and get waterlogged, right? You're like, Dan, show me the monthly. Yes, I will oblige your request. Look at this, 2 hundos. Okay, keep an eye on it. I mean, people are raising their targets to 250, and I'm sitting here, not everybody, just a few people, and then I see it confirmed by a friend. I'm like, what are you doing, Scott? Stop parroting that stupid... What's the best way to describe it? Just don't parrot what retail's saying. Everyone says 250, but I'm like, we're right at resistance. I mean, I wouldn't assume anything. NDAQ, remember, this exchange is just absolute turd snickles. I don't know if that's a word. Turd snickers, whatever. Why wait? I mean, this thing has been absolutely beaten, and I've told y'all a million times, there's a reason why the NDAQ is not going to be doing well. All the volume that once traded on tech is going to go to commodities. If you don't believe it, study the past. Well, what is confirming? Every day, I know this is hard for people to go, the NDAQ, I still believe in tech. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it for a minute. So we'll see what happens. Patience, MicroStrategy rallying with the Bitcoin. I mean, it's a proxy on Bitcoin. Netflix, look at this. It hits resistance at the hundo 20-day, whatever crossy area. Man, if you get a retest, call me, hit me up, because I think that's a short and a half. Roblox back at the range highs, getting tired. Tesla, they pinned that thing to 180. Game over candle in play, and now what? It just dead cat bounces. I mean, this has been leading down. Materials, right? They should be on fire, right? Like, if the market's gonna hold, hold on. Look at this stuff, right? Remember, keep in mind, big volume. This could be just squared positioning out on a Friday in OPEX. Remember, someone could have exercised options. We have no clue. We have no clue, but what do I do know? Is that X double topped and rolled over. Now it's back at support. Supuerto, if you want to say it in Spanish. I don't think that's how you say it, but that just sounds fun to say. Supuerto. Yeah. Keep an eye on. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we got back into the free money buy zone down here in the 18 levels. If you zoom out, you can see why. It's pretty wild because I know there's probably one or two people who trade letter X and they don't have a monthly trend line like I do. And that was a trap, and you hit it. Dunk. Dunk-a-dunk. Look at that dunk-a-dunk. 16, 17. Oh, that would be a gift because X will be trading at like a 2 PE. VALE. Oh, man, why am I... No. Let's back this track up. New core. Calgary Porsche. Hopefully you shorted this, buddy. I know I'm a lame Discord room. M-top. And drop. That doesn't look bullish. Caterpillar, right? This should be doing well. This has been doing great all year. Oh, God. Oh, God. No, it's not. Materials don't look that great. VALE. 200-day, nice little bounce. We'll see what happens here. Arrow. Copper. Chopping. Near the highs. Hit the 20-day. Backed off again. That's not what you want to see if you're bullish. CC Jizzle. I don't know if I can say that. 200-day cross. We talked about shorting at 29 area. I mean, I got a lot of flack from uranium folks. I'm like, I like uranium long term, but I don't really care about the stock holding up if the market goes down, because it's not that I don't like these names. Even like CF, they throw the baby out with the bathwater. Look at this. This baby is in the trash. They flush this thing down the toilet, and I hope it goes lower. So I'd love to see an extreme low. Mosaic, flush this thing. I love ag names. Come on back. Show me something. Now keep in mind, if you're a monthly charter, like you should be, what do you want to look at? Just watch the 200 month. Now, could we wick below it? You bet your sweet tushy. Did I say tushy? That's an old word. NTR. Coming back into the range lows. Sorry, I'm zooming out as I should, and I'm just watching monthlies, right? I got some monthly action in the background. Should hold, but here's the thing, right? If you want to see this area, if you really want that, to me, like 58, whatever, 48, 50, 58, 60 area, that would be a wet dream. Can I say that? I don't know. AA, aluminum, you'd think it'd be strong. No. I mean, these looks like the bank stocks, right? Oh, speaking of XLF, they pinned that thing to 31 right at the lows. I mean, how many times at CNBC did you hear everything's good, the Fed's got this under control, and everybody's great? No, you didn't zoom out, did you? Look at this. We are back at support from 2007, 2008. We are breaking the 50-month. You take out 29.30, see you in hell. And I don't mean that like literally, but that would be bad. And again, if you reshorted FAS on the pops, I mean, could the FAS go? I mean, did y'all, again, do you look at the monthlies? Look at this thing. 107 down to 13. Am I speaking too loud? I think so. Could this thing go to 93 back down to... You do the math. I don't know. Right? Because when you look at the XLF, where was the XLF when that thing hit 13? Sorry, I zoomed out. Oh, it was at 18. Could we get cut in half again? I mean, this is all real, right? We talked about this is like the wide pattern. I think it's very obvious now to think about the megaphone. The megaphone, y'all. Ooh, I just love megaphones. Look at all the confluence here. If you are not drawing and getting out your notepad, I'd be watching this level. Now, again, could it cut through it like hot knife through butter? Just butter, baby. It's not margin. It's simply butter. It could happen. We'll see. I mean, this is what's so hard. You don't know. I mean, everyone's like trying to read the headlines and tea leaves, and it's like just try to ignore it. JP Morgan, if you, again, Lee, I'm talking to you if you're listening. You've been trading this thing. It's close at the lows of the week. Things that aren't bullish. Morgan Stanley, good old Morgan, good friend of mine. His cousin JP Morgan. I'm assuming you'll see maybe a little of that come out over the holiday weekend. Probably not as much as some of those other Jameson. I guess JP Morgan and Jameson they could be related. I feel like they're on a boat together. They share a boat. They have a title together. See what happens here. Again, Morgan Stanley. 70s. Goldman Sachs. Loving the Marcus 4.75. Now, remember, who's got a bunch of this? Your friend Warren Buffett. Will he bail out them versus Bank of America or Wells Fargo? I would think he would like to have more Goldman Sachs because it has more upside, but I could be wrong. Again, make sure your deposits at any institution are below the FDIC requirements because everything after it is not insured. Sorry I have to say that, but that's just the reality of what could happen. Don't be slipping on that. Let's get through this solar because this is where it's getting real fun. Look at solar. We told you this stuff was going to get bow. You don't know what I'm talking about? Again, we said ENPH. Everyone's loving it. And I'm like, this thing's coming back down to the trend line. Uh-oh. And the market's still holding up at 390. This thing could get slaughtered. Holy crapocola. You know, is crapocola, is that like, you put that on your sub? Probably not. Sedge, we talked about 340, 330. Oh, look out below. Now, here's where I get excited for solar. That big gap trap. Trying to hold the 200 level for pin action. But Dan, why would you short for solar? Oh, because it has a history. I like monthly candles that are just, you know, do the math there. 271. I like $100 monthly candles. Do you like $100 monthly candles? Tell me and leave a comment below if you like $100 monthly candles, because that's what's happening potentially for solar. Because the whole green movement, again, whether you're, I'm for green, but, and I'm not talking about the herb. Come on, a lot of you guys joke and leaving comments. No, I think the green, meaning technology, makes sense, but if oil and gas are dropping demand, do you think people are going to be slapping solar up? Slapping the base up? No. Just keep an eye. Be patient. Let's end out on oil and gas. Oil again, just not really looking that hot. 3-day range on the USO. Keep an eye on it. UNG. Oh, you wanted to buy it? Hopefully you traded it. If you bought it at 7, sold it at 10 or whatever. Moving right along. XOP, we said the stuff doesn't look good. Again, if the market was holding up, like XOP wouldn't look like XLF. You better hold this area, right? Oxon Mobile. Did you say Oxon? No. We talked about this breaking out monthly, backing off. Not good. Watch the 200 dizzle because it's under it. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Speaking of dizzle, PX dizzle. Not good. Not good. Making lower lows. Just can't really say anything positive about it. EQT. New lows. Chopping. Let's end it with Flex LNG, Congress's favorite ad. I think you're going to get back maybe 29. I'd still wait for 24. Again, I'm just trying to be patient here because I think, honestly, when the VIX spikes, you're going to see prices on things that'll just blow your mind. Down, 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 down. Blow your mind. Well, I can't do sounds of techno. But anyway, hope this helps. Please be thoughtful. Zoom out. Start on the monthly. Check out the weeklies. Look at the support zones. Look at the VAP zones. Look at the moving averages. Draw your fibs. Draw your trend lines. Know that you have a plan. If you're just sitting here twiddling your thumbs and you didn't trade this volatility, shame on you. Shame on you. Because you should have. You know you should have. Come on. So I appreciate the love, the support, the generous donations. I hope people are doing excellent. I know this isn't easy. I know tech is driving people crazy. And I know certain things look great. And so hopefully you're not all in one sector. Well, if you were short XLF or long tech, you probably feel good. But I have short. Some better, some not as good, right? That's just the nature of the game. And honestly, again, the most excited shorts I have are tech ultimately. Just I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow, meaning for Monday, or it's going to be next week. I don't know. But I do know what. I know it all ends badly. You know, think about this like, you know, someone was referencing the Jesse Livermore San Francisco earthquake, and the market was holding up. And then like a couple weeks, or I don't know if it was a week later, a couple days later, all of a sudden the market just finally figured it out. Well, I don't know if the market really understands what's going on in the banking sector. Now, people do, but the market's going to play games before it does what? Probably goes lower. So, don't be the exit liquidity. Be careful. I appreciate everybody. Have a great weekend. Hit me up if you have any questions. Do your homework. I'm telling you, you got to do your homework if you love this job. Talk to you later.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.